Namaskar, welcome to my digital talk show. I'm Sorav Jain and I'm so excited to host you for this show all again, but this time in a different format, in a different setup, and we are all upgraded. We have tied up with this company called Pro Musicals, who are our studio partner and the audio partner. But let's begin the show. In my show today, I have Rishi Jain, who is the co founder of Digital Scholar, and together we have completed 2 years of this journey. This journey has been fascinating. It has been a roller coaster ride for us because of the lockdown and for multiple reasons. But I would say it has been an amazing journey by far. And I'm so grateful to each one of you who have supported us by far and who have shown their love through being part of our webinars, being part of our workshops, being part of our courses. And today, you're going to learn a lot about how does it help for someone to become an entrepreneur, and how does someone really begin their journey to take it this far. So welcome on board, Rishi.
Thank you, Saurav. So excited. We completed 2 years and we're doing this podcast and where we're going to be learning about all the challenges and share our experiences to the world. So let's begin here. Now, my question to you first is way back in 2019, you already had a successful agency and you were working with about 40, 50 clients and you had a team of 70 people. You were up till the neck, right? You did not have time at all. How did you even manage to think about Digital Scholar and how did you kickstart?
Fantastic. I think somebody who just begins their entrepreneurship journey, they always think of achieving a bigger problem. And one of the biggest problems that I found as an agency owner was the lack of talent. And when I was sourcing for candidates, I realized that people with years of experience in digital marketing doesn't know much about digital marketing because they weren't working in the right place or they didn't have the right mentors. So I realized that this problem needs to be addressed. And I learned this through my first experience, which was in 2010. Because when I learned that I wanted to source clients and I wanted to bring clients on board, the only way that I could bring them on board was through education. So I used to go across the city and do a lot of mini workshops and give free talks. And that would get me a lot of people wanting to work with us. And that's how I actually started growing my client list. I realized it was the education that changed the game. And again, when I realized that my agency is growing, I need talent and I need fresh talent and fresh ideas. So Digital Scholar was the way. But that's just not it. I was a lot more because there was one thing which changed my perspective when I was in Osho's commune, and I was listening to Osho. Osho said that each one of us are here for a purpose, and all of us can achieve something great in our lives by transforming lives of people. So I thought this is a calling for me because in an agency I could justify and transform only lives of 70 people, but I thought through an educational institute I can really help a lot of people achieve their goals in their life.
True. So education is the way to change a lot of lives and distribute your learnings in a far wider way. So I think it's a brilliant ecosystem that you and I we have built together because we have clients and then we have students who learn about how clients get the success, and it's like the perfect ecosystem that goes hand in hand. So yeah, I think that was brilliant. Now, moving on. So, what was the biggest challenge in starting Digital Scholar? What was that one biggest hurdle that you faced while stepping into and starting Digital Scholar?
So, challenges are part of entrepreneurship, but one of the biggest challenges was the market which I was in. We were in Chennai and we're still in Chennai. So, I learned that Chennai market is not a very high spending market. They don't really buy an expensive program. And all my competitors in the market were selling the program at the price of, I would say,
One tenth of the price,
one
yeah?
tenth of the course. Let's
Yeah.
say somebody was selling it at 10K, somebody was selling it at 5K.
Hmm.
And I realized that none of these courses were actually valuable and they were not taught by practitioners. It was not meaningful for someone to actually spend months learning things theoretically. So there was a gap. So the biggest challenge was to actually go and create a course of a price and create a market for something. There was no market for this, and we had to create the market for this. So this was one of the biggest challenges. And the second biggest challenge was, of course, you need to get validations from your family, and that took quite a lot of time because they saw me working day in, day out, and they always found me busy with my schedules. So the only question they asked was, how would you manage another business? Because you already have a lot on your plate. I think these were two biggest challenges which I had come
I
on my
think to
way.
add on to that, the another challenge that we faced when we started was that people from here did not know much about digital marketing. This was before the start of lockdown, where we used to tell people what is digital marketing and then explain about the course, right? And it was done in the form of lot of demo classes, a lot of teaching went before even the course started, right? So I think that one challenge was the biggest, which was people did not know what is digital marketing. And of course things changed after lockdown came into picture. Now people know what is digital marketing and they come and they directly enroll for the course, so half the time is saved for us. But yeah, that was one of the top challenges as well. What do you think?
I think that's absolutely right. So, what did it take for you to quit your job because you were working at Infosys and then you decided to join Digital Scholar? So, how did that journey happen?
So back in Infosys, I definitely loved my job, and but the thing was, I was sitting in a cubicle 4 by 4, staring at a black screen for almost 16 hours a day, and the biggest problem was I was a bad coder, right? And it's like that. If you ask a fish to climb a tree, it's gonna only feel stupid, right? So I was that fish which was asked to climb the tree, and I was a terrible coder, and I was given like a very difficult project to work on. So I was not able to execute, and I used to go to my manager and tell him that I just cannot really execute and do this coding functions. And he used to reply and say that there's a metro that is building outside this office. You know how much time it took to build? I was like, I don't know. It just took 20 days. And I took 2 months to build a piece of code. So he was just trying to give that analogy that you can do it. But the point is, I was that fish in between those smart people. It was not meant for me. And I thought, I should be going out and doing something that I love. And teaching was one thing that I was always good at, right? Because I used to teach to my friends in school, colleges. I used to teach guitar back when I was working for Infosys. So teaching was always something that I was passionate about. So when the idea came that it was about teaching digital marketing, I totally jumped into that without thinking twice. So that was the shift I took from Infosys to Digital Scholar, and glad it happened.
Fantastic. So, you said you joined Digital Scholar, but before that, there was a journey about you wanting to go to Germany to learn digital marketing. And we both had a conversation about it. So, would you like to share that experience with the audience today?
Yeah, just like every graduate in the country who thinks of doing engineering for 4 years and then thinks about doing MBA, either right after graduation or right after a year or two, I was in the same phase. I gave my GRE exam, I gave my CAT exams, I did TOEFL, IELTS, and all those exams. I spent a lot of money there. And you know I had no clarity in terms of what I want to do. I was just doing because everybody else was doing, right? So I thought, let's give it a try, and I got selected in few universities from Germany. It was a 6 months to 1 year course. And yeah, then I was pretty much finalized, right? We had a conversation at home and it was pretty much final. But I came to you, and you said, instead of going there without realizing or without having any purpose, it's better that you give 6 months to Digital Scholar, right? Spend your time, learn everything about digital marketing yourself. And if you still think you need a higher education, then you might as well take it, right? So I accepted that offer. I understood, all right, let's give it a try, because I was clueless myself, and I was not much aligned towards doing that course because I was just doing for the sake of it. So I took that call from you, and I spent the next 6 months working inside the agency, learning all the aspects about email marketing, about paid advertisements, pretty much all of that. And after 6 months, I understood it was everything about practice, right? And these are the things that I learned by working with people like you and all the experienced people. I got more knowledge. I got more excited about being in the field, and this I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have got from any college out there. So the biggest takeaway was that I could learn everything practically. And then when I started implementing, started seeing results, started mailing to 100,000 people, and then replying and changing mindset about every people out there, I think it was a great, I felt powerful is what I would say. So after that, I never wanted to go back and do an higher education. And I believe short courses, practical learning is what everybody needs today, and that was the biggest game changer, right? So yeah, after 6 months there was no looking back. It was just about learning more and more, and till today I learn every single day to improvise, because the field is as such, it just changes every night, right? So that was all about the journey that we took, from learning to actually teaching after that. So sort of, tell me, how did you start, or how did we start the first batch at Digital Scholar? We spoke about the challenges, right? Which was a market that not pays, market doesn't know about this course. And how did we crack, or what was the secret behind getting our first set of students?
All right. So, first of all, there was an uncertainty. I wasn't sure if will be able to pick up this market at the price we wanted them to pay. So, pretty much when we started doing our lead generation campaign, we got inquiries, but every time we would give them a call and we would say, digital marketing course, everybody would get excited. And then when we would tell them the price, they would just say it's very expensive. Almost 300 calls and just five or six people interested. The rest of them, everybody's just trying to say the same thing. So I had a choice to either bring down the price or learn how to sell better. So I happened to come across a program from Blair Singer, and this was about train the trainers, and it was also about making the stage, which was very expensive program. But I did not mind selling. So the first thing that we did was we ran a lead generation campaign that got us a lot of inquiries. But when we would give call to those inquiries, we learned that a lot of people are excited about digital marketing, but they did not want to spend. And the moment we would say them pricing, they would just say it is very expensive. So out of 200, 300 calls we made, we only saw four, or five people really interested. And they were also not ready to spend. They were not too sure. So we learned that either we have to bring down the price or we have to learn to sell better. So I did not choose to bring down the price, but I rather preferred to learn how to sell better. And I had come across this program from Blair Singer on Train the Trainer and Making the Stage that talks about how do you really create a context, because it's all about the context, it's just not about the content. And that was an eye opener for me. And just after that, I finished the program. I came here and I said, we need to really get that context because people need to really know our story of why are we building Digital Scholar and what is the reason behind it. So we came down, and the first thing that we did was we learned about how do we really create mini workshops for people to experience us firsthand without having to spend a single penny. So we did smaller workshops and we started selling from the stage. And that was the biggest game changer because the first time we sold, we had about 8 to 10 people buying the program. And I taught you the same thing, and you continued doing the show. And then we taught our team the same thing. So we started to create better context and started telling stories about why are we doing this. So people started buying the thought more than buying the program because they saw the value and the mission that we were actually working towards. And that mission and that value was what they were actually investing in. So sometimes it's not about your program, it's also about your purpose. And sometimes purpose is much, much larger than what you're trying to sell. So, one thing I remember from my mentor, which changed my life because all that time, all that while, in my subconscious mind, I was always thinking, selling, why am I selling a program? You know, will people think that am I cheating them? Am I, overcharging them? Am I doing something wrong? But that's when my mentor said, selling is serving. And when he said that, and that got registered in my mind because I'm actually serving people. And that's what we have been doing. In the last 2 years, we have served so many people and we have transformed so many lives. And that's what it is all about. So people who are scared of selling need to understand that you're not selling, but you're serving and you're solving someone's problem. And that is where the game started to change for us.
Right, selling is serving. That's right. And no, I think biggest problem on the internet today is people think everything is free on the internet. What do you think about that?
Well, that's one of the biggest thoughts everyone have. Everything is free, and that's fine too, because you need to really create something for free because that's what attracts people. Free is a very powerful word if you use it in the right way, and we have always used free to our favor. We have used we have created free ebooks, we have created free digital marketing courses, we have created free courses and free workshops. So we have done all of that just to make people give the first hand experience. But I don't think people really think that everything on the internet is free because there are people who are willing to pay. So I think that thought uh, is of people who has seen a lot of free content easily available, but people who are really serious about creating their lives or they wanted to really change their want to get a realistic experience, they are willing to spend.
Right, makes sense. And you currently run two successful businesses. What do you think goes behind creating a successful business?
I think it's about the mindset because I always believe if you have enough patience, perseverance, persistence, you'll eventually succeed in your life. A lot of people are impatient. They try something, and if it's just not working, they want to jump something else, not just in business space, but even at workplaces. You need to really give something your time. It takes at least 10 years to build something meaningful. And that's how much time you need to give, whether you're building your personal brand, whether you're building your business. And you have to consistently do those things, regardless of however boring it is. Sometimes you have fatigue, sometimes you may feel that this is not something that you really want to do in your life, but those are thoughts that you may want to kill, and you are the only person who can do this. So, successful business is also about satisfaction. I have seen people, they don't have gratitude. They are just they're not grateful for what they have built, and I'm very grateful for what I have built. I may have not achieved many big things, but I'm happy with what I have built by far, with whatever I had in my life. So I believe with this thought, if you're grateful for what you have, you eventually see yourself growing in your life. And that is very important for someone to build successful business. And of course, if I really talk about it from a very process oriented perspective, then you need to have the right protocols, processes inside the company, your employee engagement activities, because eventually it's all about people. And the root of every business is how do you sell? So if you don't have the great sales technique and if you're not able to sell, then you're never gonna scale. While selling is serving, selling is also about scaling. So the more and more you learn to sell and you have bigger goals and better goals, you're going to scale faster in your life. And I think that is the root of Digital Scholar, and that's the root of echoVME too, which is the agency business that we run. So in both the places, we always aim at how much do we sell today. So that's the mantra behind it.
Yeah, some amazing insights there. Being grateful and processes, also being consistent, right? And I was watching a podcast by Naval where he says when people climb two-third of the mountain, they see that only one-third is left, and they're just stuck there because they think that the peak is nearer, but they're pretty far from the peak, and they don't want to start over, right? And that's the biggest reason as well, that once people are inside a space, they are confined to it and they don't want to start over because they feel that they have crossed two-thirds of the road here and they can reach the other one-third. So yeah, I think every business needs to be dealt with being consistent, setting up the processes, and then being grateful for wherever you are without being too greedy.
Right. I heard that podcast too of Neville, and he also says when look at many artists, they always begin things from scratch. So they redo this again and again, and they don't know what is the outcome, but they are risking it, and they are always able to create something very beautiful or something very meaningful, which is truth, which is also the bitter truth, or I would say that's the reality in the entrepreneurship world, where you need to really understand that it's always okay to start from zero. Because in an agency business which I was doing for years, I was thinking, okay, from here to scale, but how would I start something? But if you are if you're very firm about it, you eventually make that happen for
True,
yourself.
true. And what is that one thing that you would recommend, uh, to the people that are watching?
So Rishi, all that is fine. Tell me, what is the USP of Digital Scholar?
Well, the biggest USP is us, which is the way we are and the way we teach. And most importantly, we are very serious about our students, right? It's not about a it's not a business for us. It's more about passion, and business is just one side of the thing. But most importantly, we want to see our students succeed at every cost. So that's the biggest USP that we bring to the table. Apart from this, if you look at the accreditations and the things that we have done in the past, one of the biggest USPs that we bring to the table is being a Google and Facebook partner agency, and we have some benefits which is not available for with any other institute, right? So we're directly powered by Facebook and Google there. Apart from this, we have internship where students get real life experience into working with almost 50 plus brands, and they get to understand the functions and processes by actually implementing for them. So they work for the brands, they get their assignments approved, they get their work approved or disapproved depending on how they do it. But yes, that's one of the biggest deal breaker is what I feel
And they
is
get paid too.
they get paid too, for sure. Yeah, so if you work you get paid, and then they get hired as well. So that's the process over there, and I feel, yeah, these are the biggest USPs that we have, which no other institute in the country probably has.
Okay, I think there's some more important points there. One of those uh, cultures that we have built inside of Digital Scholar is the agency culture. So that's like where people really build their families and they build agencies and they really fight with other agencies and there's a competition. Plus, people get to spend money on ads. We ensure that they are able to burn their fingers onto the dashboards, not just from an overview perspective, but from a practical perspective. And that is something that we do at Digital Scholar very strictly, because we are not creating program just for the sake of, because you've learned it in a hard way, being part of multiple institutes ourselves. We know that they just try to bring in bookish knowledge and that doesn't really add to any skill set. But this is a skill set that we want to build, which is just a 3 months hardcore digital marketing skill set that can actually help people get the best job, or scale their business or switch their jobs into the domain of digital marketing.
True. Yeah. So adding on to that, students learn everything from building websites to sending out emailers to creating their own profiles on different social media channels. Execution, right? Everything is done or dealt with practically, and that's the biggest USP as well that I missed totally on. So moving on from the challenges, what do you think is the fun side of working at Digital Scholar? What is that key happy moment for you, or can you share some experiences?
I think fun side and the happy side, both the sides are part of an educational institute. The fun side is that it keeps your college spirit alive because you get to interact with young minds, and sometimes we even get students who are 16 years old, and at the same time we have students who are 65 years old. So the what I really see is, we bring back the whole college culture, and that that is the first-hand experience which I continue enjoying, whether it be it offline or online. And the happy side of it is when you see an entrepreneur trying to scale his business through whatever we have taught, or a student getting a really good paycheck from a company because of what he has learned at Digital Scholar. I think that gives me the ultimate happiness, because that's what the purpose of Digital Scholar is, to really help people become digital coaches, digital entrepreneurs, digital marketers, and digital influencers.
Amazing. So, what is that one student case study that is close to your heart, that was so important to you, or probably that changed your perception that you're doing something amazing?
I think there are many, but I would not talk about one today. I would talk about three. One was a person was taught how to run Facebook ads inside of the course, and he ran Facebook ads to sell his Facebook ad service, and he was able to make more money than what he had spent inside of the program. So that was wow. Second, which was a recent one, was of Vidya Arun, who got a job in Cognizant as a SEO person. She's 36 years old, and she was teaching all this while not teaching. She was into the sales of a play school for all these years, and she never dreamt that she would get a corporate job. But she got a corporate job because of what she learned at Digital Scholar, and she was able to crack that interview because everything that was taught here was asked inside of that interview, and she was very happy. And the confidence that was built in her because of this program, and that made her achieve that particular course, that particular job, that was amazing. And one of the other ones is one of the students who was an entrepreneur, who learned a skill set and went ahead and promoted some of his services, which was about automobile parts. And he was able to make about 4 5 lakh rupees from just that one activity that he did. And he could not believe that digital could do so much wonders for him. So I think these are some three things that really actually made me
True.
feel that this is powerful. So which one is yours?
True. I think we have had about 400, 500 plus success stories, but the one that was close to my heart was, there was a guy from our offline class, and he was a pizza delivery guy. And he actually saved a lot of money to be part of this institute. He came here, he built his confidence, and uh, it was just about the confidence building, right? Skill set was something that he acquired any which way, but he built his confidence, and he's now working at a reputed agency. And he was so happy. He sent a huge message one night to me, like a huge long message saying how grateful and how his life changed because of the code. So that was something that was like pretty amazing to look at. I was super glad. And another one was another student who was not very outspoken, right? He was an introvert, and he didn't want to go out, he didn't talk to people. He came to the course, he became like a beast, he became like a wild animal after the he did the course. So his dad, he comes up to me and says, you guys done great job, because yeah, skill set, he was able to learn everything, but most importantly became confident again. So these two were a few things that are close to my heart. So what's up with Digital Scholar? Where do we see ourselves?
So we are looking to expand Digital Scholar across the country. That's one of the biggest goals. I hope pandemic doesn't hit us again, and there's no lockdown, because I think that's where the growth is slowed down. Second, we are looking for investors in the company to see how we can really scale this globally. Third, we are looking forward to see the right kind of mentors being associated with us. We don't want to really create a lot of programs, but we want to focus on meaningful programs and just few of them where we can put our heart into it, just to change lives of people. And the focus is to see how we can also create franchisee based models, so that we can create more entrepreneurs who have the similar mindset, wants to do something on the similar lines, and have been running agencies and have the experience of working in this domain for years, but they do not want to start an institute from scratch. So we want to tie up with some of them, not many of them. And franchisee is not the right word, but I would say business partners in different markets, so that we still create quality educational hub, And the source, or I would also say it would be like the digital marketing school that we want to create. So the like how people have like the many MBA schools, we want to focus on building digital marketing school that could invite global audiences.
Amazing. And
So I have a question for you, and the question is, what do you see? What are the kind of programs that you would like to see in Digital Scholar, or what is in your radar?
So we have a 3 month program which is doing well because it covers 360 digital marketing aspects. We want to bring something which is more advanced, I would say, and which covers the aspects which we're not already covering inside the 3 months course. Since this field is so huge, there are certain aspects which needs more detailing, which needs more time. So people, if want to understand about neuroscience, about consumer psychology, and actually attaching that with growth marketing is something that I would want to delve into, and is something which we are already working on, right? So that is one course which is going to be a live course that we can bring to the table. Apart from this, there are a set of pre-recorded courses that is already ongoing or it's in the works, which we already have, is Instagram influencer mastery course, which is how to become a digital coach. Next would be about WhatsApp marketing, about Twitter, about LinkedIn. So these are the things which should be in the pre-recorded format, and the idea of launching would be in the quarter 1 of 2022. So these are few courses that we are thinking, which our audience wants, right? And this is where we are heading to in terms of launching.
That's awesome. So we come towards the end of this podcast, which is the first ever podcast. But I would say we have done many digital talk show that you can check it out on YouTube yourself. But I hope you enjoyed this session where we've shared our experience of being an entrepreneur, running Digital Scholar for the last 2 years. And please do share with us what is your biggest takeaway from today's session. And most importantly, please do let me know who would you like to see on this chair next. Who would you like to hear? What would you like to hear? So do share your thoughts so that this will only help me create better experiences for all of you. And with this note, I would just like to say we are digital scholars and we are awesome. Thank you for watching us and thank you for listening to us.